This is another video in a series of videos over Tai Chi postures for Chang Tai Chi. Relatively, the postures across Tai Chi utilize some of the same names, sometimes from one group to another they look the same, and other times they don't. And which is all fine, right? It's what am I learning, or, is the approach you want to have. What am I learning, and how can I get better at it? So the one that we're going to do today is called, you can say oblique flying, or slant flying, diagonal flying. It's a lot of the postures have multiple names, right? And that's again across the board. So kind of those names are kind of used. Either one could, any of those could be used. So this part of in a lot of the Tai Chi forms, you will see ward off onto itself, right? Kind of more of this, kind of more to the front this way, and then they move to the next move. We'll say. With this move, I'm not facing him straight on like this. I'm actually to the side of him, right? I'm like he's standing this way, and I'm facing this way, and this arm is controlling, we'll say, his wrist, and the other arm is coming under his torso. It's one example of the movement. So when you see us doing it, we're here, right? We'll look this way toward the very end, and part of that has to do with what is the next movement, or it would be me completing the action. So from here, see? And it's really not that I turn my head per se, but it's that my body turns and the torso turns, and so the head turns, right? This movement has a lot of different variations, okay? I'm not really going to go into all of those today, but if you think of it like this, you're here, your leg is behind him here, and the hand is across the front, and you're controlling him to keep him from moving away. So this leg is behind his legs, this hand is in front of his torso, and then I turn you. Now, you can turn all the way here, or you can be here, and if you think of it in a way, it's kind of like you're pushing into his legs and into his torso, and you kind of break its structure, and then from here, he would fall. Now, you can do this move several ways. I can even come here, and it's like you're, for better word, driving or charging into him, right? So you bump him, knock him away. You can also come from underneath, and instead of me keeping the control of his hand, I grab the back of his knee. This hand wraps across his torso, and you dump him away like this. There's squeezing. So I have his arm. This arm is going to go under, and I hook his outside leg, and I kind of crumple his legs together. And as I do, as I squeeze enough, and I'm squeezing here, I drive, and I fold in him and make him fall away. And there's even a couple of other variations. We're going to just look at the one main one, okay, today. And this one is great, again, for working the legs, engaging the hip, working the core, a really good, strong move. Now, as I keep mentioning, there's different speeds, different bases, high, low base, more narrow stance, large frame, leg skills, all of these different features, right? But we're going to come from here, and I'm going to use a large frame first, right? So here, and I want to be able to pull this leg through. You got to have good hip flexors to do this. If you do a more narrow stance, I still want to engage the hip, right? We don't do Tai Chi this way, where we're just shifting, or where we're pushing into the knee or rocking on the foot. We want to engage here, all of this, right? So here, even with a small stance, I engage, 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 engage. I do a large frame, lower base. Now, I'm going to pull my leg through. Again, mid-frame. So it's a good move to practice for your Tai Chi separately, so you can really get the leg strength, because like in the form, it'll lead in from different directions. I have to step backwards in a diagonal with it, or I have to move forward with it. Or even from the opposing side, right? I'm here and I come across this way with it. So it kind of goes on all four corners if we look at it like that. If you're doing the swatch out, or you're doing Master Chang's Tai Chi for application, this is a great move to learn to control an individual. Guy comes with a punch or something, easy to use it to kind of knock the guy back and away from you. A good move for if you want to take somebody down, we'll say it like that. If you're doing it for purely just for the health and wellness, it's really good for my body and here, this stuff, right? Keeping this stuff loose and strong. So, anyway, it's a good move. It combines well with other movements, all of that kind of stuff. But again, like I said in some of the other videos, the more that we can take the individual postures out of the actual forms themselves and put our effort into developing them individually, even if the movement is done several times in the form, me pulling it out of the form and me doing these, we'll say, moving posture line drills, I can put so much more effort into that movement to enhance it, the ability of my ability to do it, even if it's just for the performance factor, for the health and wellness. If I'm doing it for application, the better I get the body mechanics and coordinate my body and strengthen my body in the way that it needs, or increase that mobility, the more I'm able to apply it in reality. It's just like with any of the other moves, right? If you're doing swatch out and you want to get good at this throw, this particular throw, you don't do another dozen different throws and put the same amount of effort. You take all of that over there to put into this sometimes. Now, I will say that learning other throws or other postures, like from the Tai Chi or from the swatch out, it gives you a more rounded view of this one throw that you're working on. So, but learning this throw helps me to understand this aspect of this one. And learning this throw helps me to understand this other aspect of this thing, and it keeps improving and developing my ability. And that's why it's the way that Master Chang's Tai Chi is set up is more, this is the form content, this is auxiliary training. And this auxiliary training is whether it's strength or mobility based, whether it is you're younger and it's application, or it's loosening exercises of the Taobao. All of those things help you to improve your ability to do the form. But the real value of that is that you improve the ability of your body to be able to do tasks, whether it be a form or your day-to-day lifestyle. And if you're doing it for application, just the development alone can help with me being able to preserve myself, defend myself, and if some situation arises. Competition is different. Competition, we really need to look at other aspects. Younger, we really need to push your physical capacity up here, and we've got to get you to train for this and all of that stuff. And that's great. And if you're younger, you should always try something like that. But anyway, I guess what I'm trying to share with you is the more that we put effort into the individual aspects, the better the whole thing gets. For whatever my reasons for doing it, that are, we'll say, tangible. But all of those results go back to me, and those results are me improving my overall health and my ability to preserve it. So anyway, thank you for watching the video.